Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 363 of the Two-Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Sean.
How we doing?
Fantastic. If this is the first time you're ever seeing, hearing, or listening to us, this is the Two-Player Co-op Podcast, where just about every other week, two brothers get together to tell you everything you need to know about in the world of video games. If you like that, make sure you like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, family, and everyone in betwixt. Oh, it's August 30th. And not today. I lost it. Oh, give us a 5-star review, thumbs up if you're on audio. Like the video, subscribe. I don't know what I said, but we're done with that part. So, if you really like us, because why wouldn't you? You can go to patreon.com/2playercoop, where we got a lot of different benefits for you people. But the most popular is the $5 tier, which makes you a producer, which lets you watch us record the podcast live on YouTube as we are doing right now. You get a bonus episode every month, which we're going to try to record after this if I don't pass out, because I've been up since 2 o'clock, but I'll explain that in a minute. And you get the podcast live one day early on YouTube if you miss the live recording. Sean's thinking of something. Are you going to remember it?
No.
Okay.
I mean, no, I wasn't thinking of it.
I thought you just went like, I thought I saw you come and go,
I was just, it was more like, because it's hot.
Well, why are you all why do you come over here all dressed up?
Because this is what I wore to work. I don't dress up to come here.
What work? I know that, but
It's
like,
probably what you wore to work.
Yeah. But when I did have to go to work, I would come home and get comfy.
Yeah, probably.
It's like how the ladies like to take off their brassieres, which I don't understand.
Did you know, unless I'm wrong, what do you call a thing
Brosier.
that
Or no, the bro in a man.
is kind of like a big torch but in a castle kind of thing?
A torch in a castle. A torch? Brazier, right?
That's
Brazier?
what I've always said. But anytime, like, because they're in like Elden Ring, all those games.
Yeah.
Anytime I see a YouTube video,
yeah.
they say
Brazier?
light the brazier. I'm like, I always thought it was brazier. Brazier.
Isn't it Brasier or something?
I think it's a Z. B-A.
No, brazier, I think, is a Z.
Maybe it's an S. I don't know.
This is why you should.
But I always thought it was brazier. Brazier.
That's what I thought it was, yeah.
But,
Okay. Torch? Some of our patrons deserve a shout out, just like the man with the bar named after him, our patron saint, Mr. John Tingley. Also, our affiliates, Derek Bamford, James Solar Live in the chat. Make sure to check out James' games and more on YouTube as well. He's killing it lately. And Mom. As well as our producer, Steve Appleton. Aunt Sue is a freeloader.
we gotta, yeah.
Dustin Downs and Chris Peralta. Make sure you check out PS Rewind on YouTube as well. If you like cool t-shirts and the like, you can go to teespring.com/stores/2playercoop. Did I say the Patreon address?
I did this before, so probably.
Oh, yeah, because I moved that, and then we got on the tangent. Okay.
Talking about braziers.
Yeah, like you do. Yeah, I'm freaking tired. Of course, I'm going to yawn when I say that. So...
Okay, when you yawn, or when one yawns and it makes you yawn, I have this thing, and it happens more consistently than yawning making me yawn. When I read either of the girls a bedtime story, it makes me yawn. I could read that book in the middle of the day and be fine. I could be not tired at all, but as soon as I sit in that chair or lie down in Kira's bed, whatever, and I just start like reading a book, I get to like the second page and I'm yawning every single time.
So I completely understand, but it's not when I read a book. It's when Eliza always wants me to sing her, I know, poor girl. She always wants me to sing her Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Every time I put her to bed,
So does Kira.
Yeah, I sing it to her. I've sung it to her probably every night for the last 3-4 years. I don't even know. But I get about halfway through it, and I'm going to do it now. It doesn't matter if I'm wide awake or tired. When I get halfway through it, it's like we both are kind of like, yeah. We both, usually I yawn without her yawning, but if she yawns and I don't yawn, then I yawn. That's understandable because that's the whole...
Right. Yawn.
I will just get about halfway through it, and I don't know if it's because it's a bedtime song. Sean is right. That's also a brazier. I know that from Assassin's Creed.
Okay, that's what I'm
So
saying.
I've been saying it right.
But
wrong
I
my
always
whole
thought it was
life.
brazier or
Yeah.
something. Because why would it be brazier? But I guess it is.
I don't know. Boobs get hot. Fire is hot.
Fire is
I
hot.
have nipples. Can you milk me? All right. I'm tired. I'm tired because I've been up since 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
PM?
2 o'clock. a.m. Woke up at 2. Horrible headache. Also, Eliza woke up at 2. I'm not going to yawn the whole time, I promise. Eliza woke up at 2. And then I don't know if the headache, I had a horrible headache. I don't know if the headache woke me up. And then I was up before she woke up. Yeah, so she didn't wake me up. The headache woke me up. Horrible headache. She comes in. I can't sleep. The light's on in the kitchen or something. Okay, go back to bed. Okay, go back to bed. She goes back to bed. And I'm tossing and turning.
Flipping and flopping
For about a half hour. And I'm finally like, this is just so bad. Because I'm always like, do you ever get headaches that wake you up? I get them like once a week, and I swear it's because of this stupid dent in my head from when dad dropped me down the stairs. This is where I always get my headaches. It has to be because
they didn't
my
drop
skull,
you threw yourself down the stairs.
True. I'm just saying. And I don't even know if that's what this is from, but my skull. That's why I'm glad I'll never go bald because I can't shave my head because I've got I got kicked in the head right here like Kramer with the helmet. Anyways, that's where I always get headaches. But when they wake me up, it's like, okay, I have to I do this calculus in my head. Like, how bad does it hurt? What time is it? That's really it. It's those two things. Because then I'm like, because I have to try to figure out, is it worth it to try go take Tylenol or Advil or something?
Is it worth it?
Let me work it. Is that what you want me to do? Okay. To go take Tylenol or Advil. Like, basically, do I have enough time to actually get up out of bed, walk out there, turn a light on so I can see what I'm doing, take 6 Advil, pop them in my mouth, drink it, walk all the way back. Hopefully it kicks in a half hour to an hour. You know what I mean? Like, is it even worth it? So I decided today it was worth it because I was in so much pain. I was like, okay, screw this. So I get up and I walk out there. And I take my Advil, drink my water, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, oh, my God, it hurts so bad. So then I go into the freezer, and I get like a little, cold compress thing. The Frazier. And I get a cold compress thing, and I put it on my head. I'm like, oh, right here on my dent. And I'm like, okay, just please go away, stop hurting. And I'm like, and all of a sudden I hear a couple footsteps, and I'm like, don't get scared, I'm here. It was Noah. And he's like, what are you doing? I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I can't sleep. I was like, I can't sleep. I got a horrible headache. That's why I'm sitting here with this thing on my head. I said, just take some melatonin and try to go to sleep. He's like, I've been lying in my bed for 2 hours because we have the internet go off at 12:30 so they can't play games or anything. To try to be like, you can't say, because one night Jess went out there, Eliza woke up and the lights are on out there. Jess goes out there. It's 4 a.m. and Nick is just blah, 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 blah. Didn't know what time it was. Playing online with Noah Nixon. We're like, whoa, okay, I got to figure out how to shut the internet off at certain times, and I did. So he goes back. I'm like, okay, good, go. And I'm like, well, okay, I'm going to sit out here. It's not helping. I'm going to sit in my chair. I wish I could just turn on golf or something because golf in my chair is usually sleep. I love golf, but it makes me sleep. I guess I could have just turned on YouTube. Anyways. Didn't work, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go play PlayStation. And I'm going to just, the TV's going to hurt my eyes so much because I'm tired that they're going to burn, that it's going to make me want to go to sleep. Didn't work. So I was like, okay, fine. I'm just up now. This sucks. I'm up. And I've been up since 2. The story kind of ended kind of quickly there, but I've just woke up with a horrible headache and I've been up since 2. So it sucks. But you know what doesn't suck?
Deadpool and Wolverine.
No spoilers, because if you
people are
way
getting a little
too loose.
quick with the trigger on Twitter. Like, there's spoilers everywhere. It hasn't been a week, and they're just like, yeah, whatever. It's all out there. I'm like, you guys suck. I mean, I'm sure most of the people that really would care probably saw it already, but like,
it made in the U.S. alone $211 million. Even on Sunday, they were like, okay, it made 205. And then, Monday they get the actual results. It went up. It was 6 million more than they thought it was going to be. 211 million, biggest R-rated opening ever. I didn't think anything could beat Joker. I should have known it's Deadpool and it's Wolverine. This is probably going to beat it. 444 million worldwide. The biggest R-rated worldwide opening ever. 6th biggest U.S. opening weekend ever, period, regardless of being rated R.
That's crazy.
Of course, inflation and yada, 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 all that stuff. But, James is saying it tomorrow. Oh, my God, James, don't go on Twitter.
Yeah.
Don't go on Twitter. People are, like, all talking about the opening. That's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
There's that one thing with the guy in the motorcycle, the ring, 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 that's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen as much of that one thing, about 45 minutes into it when somebody shows up, that guy, like that. I haven't seen that.
I have.
You have? I don't get it. People suck. But also you can just not go on Twitter, I guess. Because it's not like if you just go on the internet, you can't get it spoiled for you. It's just Twitter, really.
That's true.
I have also seen a few people. IGN wrote like this op-ed about how this is everything wrong with the MCU, and
I saw the headline. I didn't read it. I'm like,
I didn't read it either, but I'm like, the MCU has sucked balls ever since Spider-Man: No Way Home.
This is what the MCU is supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun.
And then I saw Ryan McCaffrey, who I love. I still would love to get him on here one time, just interview him for an hour. I probably can't do that unless I ask him. It's like, yeah, Wolverine and Deadpool, I mean, it was fun, but I'm like, what do you people want? Did you think this was going to be like Martin Scorsese directed an MCU? Like,
it was just an amazing movie, like the best movie ever, but
it was just a lot of fun, but
I hate fun.
It was kind of this, I'm like, Sean and I were texting the next day, and I was texting my buddy Rasan that, like, I texted Rasan, unbeknownst to Sean, that's tough, and then Sean texted me the exact same thing. It's the most fun I've had in a movie, I think for sure, since No Way Home.
And No Way Home was limited to like 2 parts that were about a minute apart.
Well,
for the most part.
But then also the end when...
Well, yeah, but
the save.
But this was literally like,
and I'm like
throughout.
Oh
like
this was nonstop.
Lots of just like yes, and lots of and lots of like just something, just one after another after another after another. It was like
I lost it. I am losing everything today. I was talking to Sean for like 10 minutes before we started, and I forgot like 5 things I was trying to say. Deadpool.
Wolverine.
Him too. Yeah, there's just so many moments that are just like Oh, that's what I was going to say. I did like that because I have seen Deadpool 1 a couple of times. I've seen Deadpool 2 once. Did I say 2? Deadpool 2 once. And there was one thing, at one point, like 10 minutes in, I leaned over to Sean and I was like, I thought that character was...
Yeah.
5 minutes later, he's like, well, I went through time and la 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 la. I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you for reminding me that. Okay, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, they also have spoiled the crap out of...
What?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying, the motorcycle. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay. I'm with you now. But yeah, okay.
Also, I'll just say, spoilers without context. Mini-Me, Vern Troyer's dead. Mini-Me's not in this movie. But you'll know it when you see it. I was just like, I can't believe this. And that was the first thing we saw in that whole section, right? That was the first one.
I think so,
yeah. The way they tie it into, you know, the X-Men movies like Logan and all that stuff, going into it, I was like, I don't know who this is or how this is. It doesn't make any sense. It made perfect sense by the end. It is one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. And this isn't even Prisoner of the Moment. We saw it Thursday, so that was what, 5 days ago? Like
I still say Dark Knight, probably the best comic book movie.
Second best comic book movie is Winter Soldier.
Probably my favorite.
Best. Endgame's my favorite.
This, maybe the most fun. Like, they all kind of have their own thing. This is definitely the most something, and yeah, I'd say probably the most fun.
This is
not the best, not my favorite, but probably the most fun.
This is the most fun. Because even No Way Home, like, there's sad parts and there's drama and like even the parts that were fun, like you said, it was really just a few things where it's like, oh my God, they did it.
Yeah.
This is just nonstop. And there is actually some... Hugh Jackman is a freaking awesome actor. Oh my God, the moment when he hit his head on the radio and that one song played and I told Jess about it and she was like, huh? I'm like, they're breaking the fourth wall. She's like, what do you mean breaking the fourth? I was like, never mind, hon. just go back to running your business. It's just, but there are some, like, there's actually some really good acting in here and some kind of emotional moments and stuff like that. The scene in the car when he slams on the brakes and he's like, you immature piece of, like,
that
whole thing, I was like,
that
nominate
was
this man
amazing.
for best actor. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, he's the only one to ever...
Shut him up.
Yeah, that's not a spoiler. He's the only one to ever make Deadpool shut the F up.
Yeah.
It's so good. Some of the surprises, everything, when you get to the... I'll just say when you get to the... After you get to the compound, which means nothing, and then the next scene, I was like, holy shit, what?
Yeah.
No way, what? And then, oh my God! They finally, yes! And then, well, okay, I knew that was coming. You know, but like, oh, it's so good. It's so friggin' good. I feel like I've been talking the whole time. What have I not said?
I mean, well, we don't want to say too much. It's hard not to spoil it. I think, again, I don't want to spoil it, but for a number of reasons, I think this is the best version of Wolverine. Like, Hugh is amazing. Randomly, I think on FX or FXX or one of those things, X-Men, like the original, was on. And it's weird seeing him back then.
He's so young.
Still in very good shape,
yeah.
But like he looked like a normal human being
He's
who's
not
just
like
in good shape. Yeah, now he just looks like an animal. But it's so weird how much has changed.
Should.
But like, this is the best version of Wolverine.
I don't think he ever, like, obviously he didn't, we all know he wears the suit in this. So it's not even just that it's comic book accurate. Oh, and then there was that other one.
Mm-hmm.
The way he moves in this,
Mm-hmm.
he
That's
didn't do that in
saying.
any of the
No.
X-Men movies, right?
I don't think so.
I feel like he kind of did it a little bit in Logan. I can just remember something when he was running up the hill, but I still think that was running. It wasn't what he does in this. And then like, it's just, oh my God. And then, not a spoiler, Sabretooth is in it. Is that the Sabretooth from X-Men?
I assume.
Which one was he in? The first one?
The first one.
It was the first. Okay.
Yep.
The first one was the Statue of Liberty. The second one was awesome. That was.
I don't remember much about 2 and 3.
2 is
I
when,
get them
do you remember the
confused.
ending of 2?
I remember the ending of one of them.
Which is Jean. Jean sacrifices herself. Spoiler alert for a 20-year-old
Yeah,
movie.
so that would be 2.
That's 2. Right?
Yeah.
And then 3 is Dark Phoenix. And then First Class, or whatever you would call that X-Men universe, like, well, let's do that again, except even worse. It's phenomenal. I want to see it again. I probably won't, because I'm not going to go by myself. And I don't think, like, I know Noah's 16, and I know they see and hear and experience a lot of shit in this world. I don't want to, like, actively participate. You know what I mean?
You don't need to encourage it.
Exactly. So I'm not off base for not taking them. Because at first I just told them, like, hey, I just want to see it before you guys. And then when I got home, I was like, oh, yeah, you ain't seeing that. And they're like, what, Dad? So I don't know. Do you remember? Because I don't remember a lot about the first. I feel like this was the most violent. And maybe that's just because Wolverine's in it. But I feel like this was the most violent Deadpool. Yeah.
I don't remember much. I mean, it had to be.
Yeah. The whole opening.
I mean, yeah, it definitely is. I mean, the other two were pretty violent. Like, over the top violent. But this was like over that top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Over the back foul. It was phenomenal. Go see it if you haven't. That's all I got to say. But speaking of the MCU, I am killing it with these. I forgot the word. I'm not killing. Oh, sequiturs. No, a non. Is there a sequitur? If there's a non sequitur,
There has to be. Is there a Perel?
I don't know that there is. What is the non-part of the Perel?
The part that's not the Perel.
What is the Perel? The sprinkles? No, that is the non-Perel. No, the non-Perel is the whole thing, right? The contraption with the chocolate and the little balls. Pregnant pause. He's saying, is there a Perel? You don't know how to spell it, do you?
No, I do.
I don't.
Non-Perels are a decorative confectionery of tiny balls made with sugar and starch. Okay.
Okay, so
Perel is an equal. So non-Perel means having no equal. So it's just...
There's nothing like it?
It's like
These
the
little
uncanny
balls of sugar?
X-Men. Because you have canny? Those X-Men, they're canny. Those X-Men are uncanny.
Also, what does that even mean?
You know what I used to think it meant? It's so stupid. But granted, I was like 10 or something. I thought like uncanny was like Can he? Yeah, like
no,
you don't even have to ask. Can he
do it because he can?
That's what I thought. I was like uncanny.
Speaking of the MCU, Comic-Con was this past weekend. I feel like Comic-Con's been going on for 2 weeks because we talked about it. We're like, oh yeah, it already happened, but apparently not the big stuff. Also, Dexter, you don't care because you haven't watched them, but I knew they were doing a prequel for Dexter, which is fine, I guess. I don't know. I might watch it. I might not. But I like how they announced that Michael C. Hall is doing Dexter's inner monologue for young Dexter.
Did they announce that at Comic-Con?
They did.
Did they announce it in the Michael C. Hall?
No, I think it was Hall H. I think it was the big one. Anyways,
Michael
they
H. Hall?
also announced... Shut up. They also announced, and this makes no sense, and if you care about Dexter New Blood spoilers, skip ahead for 10 seconds. He dies at the end, finally. How they probably should have ended the original series, but now they've announced a sequel series. And I'm like... And they're like, well, how is that possible? He's like, oh, it was really cold out there. But they haven't said if it's like a sequel to that. It could be what happened between the end of...
An interquel?
Is that what they call them?
I don't know.
But an in-between-quel, yeah. Like what happened at the
In-between-quel.
At the end of the series when he's a friggin' lumberjack for some stupid reason, and by the time he gets to upstate New York, what happens there? I hope it's just that. Not everybody liked the ending of Dexter New Blood. I was actually okay with it. I thought it was well done, but whatever.
Was that a mini series?
It was just a mini series. Yeah. It was just one season. But there's rumors they might be doing a second season of that. But I'm like, I don't think we need 3 Dexter. As much as I love Dexter, except for the last season. Not the last season of the real show, not the New Blood. What are we even talking? Oh, yeah. Anyway,
Comic-Con.
It doesn't matter. We don't need that much Dexter. Anyways, all anybody cares about is MCU. And we got the reveal of... So ever since... What is the guy? Jonathan Majors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ever since he turned out... Just saying hi and bye. Okay, bye, John.
Bye.
Ever since he turned out to be a scumbag who like beats up women or something, I think.
I think so.
We knew Kang wasn't going to be a thing anymore. And didn't you say they killed him in one of the shows or something?
Yeah, but he's...
I don't even know what he is. Intergalactic planetary?
Basically, he's...
Inevitable?
He's like across all the different multiverses. So there's like an infinite number of Kangs.
Oh, okay. So
but then there's like one Kang who like conquered them all. I don't really know.
Liu Kang.
Yeah.
And Kang Lao.
Yeah.
I tried. So we knew something was going to have to change. So we find out the next... Did they originally name those 2 Avengers movies before this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kang Dynasty and then Secret Wars, right?
Yeah.
Secret Wars was still going to be one of them. But now we know the first one in May 2026 is the Avengers Doomsday. I don't care about MCU. I'm someone, I think. You are someone, John. Now I get it. So Doctor Doom is showing up. They've said the Fantastic Four are going to be in the 2 movies. Did you see the concept art for Fantastic Four? It's set in like the 60s.
It looks very like WandaVision-esque.
I already hate it, even though Pedro Pascal's in it, and I.
But like, I don't understand. I never watched any of the Fantastic Four. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Like, I never watched any of those. The original series, or the original, I don't know, was there just 2? Was it 2 movies and then another 2?
There was
or just
Fantastic
one?
Four and then Rise of the Silver Surfer. I think.
And then they rebooted it.
They did? Oh yeah, with Miles Teller.
Yeah, and Michael B. Jordan.
I was going to say Michael Chiklis. Oh, he was the Thing in the first one.
No, he was the Thing in the first one.
Yeah, the Thing. What a stupid name.
But
King, like the canceled. Chris, what's up, dude?
Yeah, so Fantastic Four, are they immortal? Do they not?
Why is it set in the 60s?
Yeah, that I don't get.
So there's that. So they're the Fantastic Four, who I honestly don't care anything about, are showing up in both movies. We know that. The reboot was horrible. Yeah,
I'm hoping they can make me care about Fantastic Four, because I'm with you. Like, I love Pedro. I like, what's his name? That's Human Torch.
Who is it? Vanessa Kirby's the girl.
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but he was from the last season of Stranger Things.
No, it means nothing.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
But, like, I want to care about them. I'm interested in... I'm hoping they make me care about them, I guess.
Speaking of Pedro Pascal, did you see that they put out coming 2025, season 2 of The Last of Us, and it's Seattle? I was like, I fucking hate you guys already. I can't believe they're going to do it.
What did you think they were going to do?
Not that! And they're still not going to do it in this season, I don't think.
Probably not.
They're in a different timeline. It's a Fallout-inspired retro future. Okay, that's friggin' cool. I take back what I said. That makes sense because, of course, this is all multiverse bullshit now.
Okay.
But the big reveal is they bring Dr. Doom up on stage. He was kind of like, remember when John Cena came out at WrestleMania and there was like 100 John Cenas and they were all like, when he came out? There was like 100 Dr. Dooms up there and then the one in the middle goes, oh. I did that, not Robert Downey Jr. So our DJ is back. Not only is this man back, he's getting north of $80 million for making these 2 movies to play Dr. Doom.
Get that money.
He also said he would only sign on to do it if the Russos were directing both movies. I get it. What do you think about this? What are your feelings?
I'm totally fine with it. I'm confused. I don't understand why everybody's so upset about it. It's one thing
Tony
to be
Stark.
I know, but like,
is he just not going to take the mask off? There's no way Robert Downey Jr. is going to wear a mask the whole
you're
time.
not going to put Robert Downey Jr. in it and pretend that he's not like. I don't think. But one thing that I will say is weird, and I'm sure it will all get explained. But like, they're not saying he's Dr. Doom. I mean, they are.
They're not saying he's Victor Von Doom.
No, they are.
Oh, they are?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I thought they didn't. I thought they.
No,
just
I'm
called
pretty
him
sure
Dr.
they
Doom.
said the only person we could think of who could play Victor Von Doom
is.
So they're not just saying he's Dr. Doom.
I just got my headache back.
But he's Tony Stark, who in some other timeline becomes Dr. Doom.
But there's all these people that are saying there's this theory out there that I've seen so many Twitter accounts tweet the exact same thing. And I'm like, so I have no idea who started this, but the sacred timeline thing and the anchor, whatever, that you probably know what I'm going to say. Like, they figure out that what the anchor was for the sacred timeline, and then they're like, oh crap, we're dying. We got to go. And then they get the wrong one, and he's like, ha, 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 I'm Dr. Doom, whatever. I don't know. Also, everybody was tweeting out this, I just don't want a Tony Stark Dr. Doom. That's what I'm...
But see, I don't care about Dr. Doom.
I don't
because
care
I don't
either.
care about Fantastic... Like, I don't know...
All I saw was
what
this-
are his powers? Like, what does he do? Like,
well, did you see this one comic?
not to be fair, I didn't know anything about Thanos either, and
Right.
he's amazing. So,
But there was this... Speaking of, did you see this comic panel that kept going around and around, and he's like, oh, hey, Thanos... And he just like destroys him in one punch. I'm like, okay.
I wonder, I don't know how they'll pull it off. Maybe some special VFX. That's how you start this movie. But just make it Kang instead of Thanos. Have him just be like, oh, Kang, you're dead. I'm here now.
Even just show him from the back or something.
Something, yeah.
So you don't even have to show his face. And it would probably get a big cheer.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't know how I feel. Like, if he really is Victor Von Doom... Was Tony just hiding a twin this whole time? It just is gonna. You can't. There. It's gonna be so friggin' weird to go into this movie in 2 years and be like, "That's not Tony Stark."
I
But it
assume
is.
he will have the mask on most of the time.
Dr. Doom's up there with Thanos. Okay.
But he will he will definitely have the mask off. You will tell that it's Robert Downey Jr.
You're not paying him $80
but I also think they're gonna
to
like
not show his face. Yeah,
I feel like if he doesn't have the mask on for much of it, it's gonna be like, I know that's Dr. Doom, but that's Robert Downey Jr. What is going on? Like, I feel like they'll make sure you know that it's Robert Downey Jr., but I also feel like they need to keep the mask on most of the time so you can just kind of forget that it's Robert Downey
Chris
Jr.
agrees with you. I feel like I feel like if they did say he's Victor Von Doom, there's just they're pulling a Last of Us 2 and just lying in the lead up to it.
So.
It doesn't. Why does he look just like Tony Stark? Did Tony clone
multiverse?
himself?
There's Logans that look just like Logan in every
they don't really.
multiverse, but some of them didn't look like him. So
I was so happy. It was such a middle finger. I was like, yes. And you know what I'm saying. Deadpool was like, yeah, you guys. I was so happy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm in. I mean, I already like it way more than Kang Dynasty.
I didn't care about the Avengers at all. I still don't. And okay, so Secret Wars. I don't
know what that means.
I always thought it was Avengers and X-Men, but it seems like it's more Avengers and Fantastic Four. So I don't know what are we actually going to get the X-Men, or are they going to save all this for like Phase 20 or whatever is going to be after these two movies?
I assume after this we finally get the X-Men. But what I would love to see, which you kind of just touched on, I don't know if this has been done in the comics. I think everything's probably been done in the comics. When you bring the X-Men in, have them be the bad guys. At least for a little bit. Do some kind of Civil War, Avengers versus X-Men kind of thing. And then they team up to kill Galactus or something. But like, I would love to see a Civil War type thing, Avengers versus X-Men.
Like maybe they were here all along. And they were just like Xavier was keeping them under lock and key somehow.
Right.
But I don't think that. I guess that wouldn't really make sense. They would have to just come from another universe because everything about X-Men is mutants are known, and it's all about race relations and everything. Obviously, like so you can't really do it where they've just been hiding this whole time because then it kind of defeats the purpose of the X. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't understand the Doctor Doom thing. We'll see it in less than 2, and also that movie's coming out in less than 2 years. So you gotta write it, film it, post-pro it in 20 months.
Well, yeah. So Deadpool just came out. We got Captain America in a few
Brave
months.
New World, yeah.
What else do we have before Doomsday? Fantastic Four.
Yep. Oh, Thunderbolts. I love Bucky.
I think that'll be good.
I don't know. Apparently, that's already filmed. I think because somebody was saying. I think Sebastian Stan, Mark Hamill's kid, was saying that Florence Pugh like steals it.
Really?
Yeah. And I still never saw Black Widow because I'm like, why would I watch this? She's dead.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know that I am.
I think it'll be fun.
It'll be fun. It might not make any sense. All right, Sean. What have you been? There's like no news this week, so this is why we spent 30 minutes at the top doing whatever. We're probably going to mostly just talk about this and then do a wrap up. Because even the thing I put for the one news thing, I don't want to read that. There's not that much to say. So we'll do that. Let's talk about what we've been playing. Sean beat a game. Did he platinum it yet?
He did not.
Okay.
But he did beat Liza P.
You got to give me the full rundown on this. Because I played the demo forever ago, 2 years ago, or whenever it came out.
This is the first true, and I'm not counting Stellar Blade, which I only played a demo. I'm not counting Jedi and Jedi. This is the first true non-FromSoft Souls game that I've played. So I was a little skeptical going in, even though I'd heard nothing but good things. It took a little getting used to, but I think I love it. It's really good. It's really good. Going from Elden Ring to Lies of P was kind of a shock. Elden Ring is pretty fast and fluid and being able to jump and all this stuff, and then this is more just... Now, I'm a strength build, so a lot of my weapons are just slow, but even when I'm just using like a sword, I feel like it's just... I'm like, can you pick it up a little bit? It kind of feels Dark Souls 1-esque to me. Now, I never played the original Demon Souls, I played the remake. Dark Souls 1, technically, I've only played the remaster, but it's just a remaster. It's still the original game, just prettier.
Yeah, they didn't fix any controls or anything like that.
It kind of feels like that, in that it's just much more... It's pretty simple, kind of bare bones. It's kind of got some Bloodborne aspect to it because you can attack enemy. If you block, you can attack enemies to get some of your health back, kind of similar to how you could in Bloodborne. It's really good. It's definitely pretty simple. They do some interesting things with the weapons where all of you've got like special weapons, which are pretty much the ones you get for like trading in the equivalent of like boss souls.
Okay. So they just straight up were like, we're making a Souls game.
Yeah, but they do little tweaks.
Okay.
All the non-special weapons are basically, I'll say blade, even though they're not all swords, but a blade and a handle. And they come together. You find a sword and it'll be like, you found the Black Knight sword and the Black Knight handle or whatever.
Oh, but you always get them at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so triangle does like a special move. Or you can do L1 and triangle to do a different special move. And triangle, I think, is always tied to the blade, and L1 and triangle is tied to the handle.
Meaning the whole thing or just the handle?
Just the handle.
Okay.
And so, like, one of my favorite weapons early on was this giant wrench. And it was like...
Like the hammer you were using in Elden Ring.
Exactly. And later on, I found out you can get... Another weapon you get is like a police baton, basically. And one of the things I saw online is like, put your wrench head on the police baton handle.
Oh, you can combine. Oh, okay,
so yeah,
cool.
Everything's separate.
Okay, gotcha.
So
okay.
Now it's like you're wielding, which is funny because there actually is a Mjolnir weapon, but I never really used it. But
Do
it's
they
like,
call it that?
Yeah.
Oh.
But now you're holding like a little
domain
thing with like a giant wrench head on the end, so it's a lot quicker, and
it looks ridiculous.
It looks really ridiculous. Yeah. But I ended up using one of the special weapons throughout most of it.
The thing I saw you using? The big sword thing?
Yeah. It's fairly linear. It's like chapter 1 has all this area, and there's some backtracking and and then you get to the boss, and then it's like corridor. Chapter 2, and then chapter 2 is kind of open, and you can backtrack and find shortcuts. And
Isn't that kind of how Bloodborne was?
And then a corridor. Whoop, okay, now you're in chapter 3, and you can go back. Like, is kind of like Bloodborne, yeah. Again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Just it's more. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's more old school Bloodborne, Dark Souls than Elden Ring, which is what I've been used to. But it's a lot of fun. It was definitely tough. The final boss sucked. I eventually found, similar to Elden Ring, the DLC, there's very similar cheese, not cheese, I mean kind of cheese. The final boss has 2 forms. And, so the other thing I didn't say, you've got your like mechanical arm.
Right.
And so you use that with L2.
Don't you like sharpen your blade or something?
So your blade has like durability, and you have to like every so often just and because if it goes all the way down and it breaks, it's broken until you get back to a grace.
Yeah.
What was I talking about?
Oh God, yeah. Oh, the boss sucked. The cheese,
the arm, arm. So it starts just like a big punch. So that's with L2.
Falcon punch.
At first it's just, but you can get different arms. One of them shoots like a they call it the puppet string, and you can like pull enemies towards you and then beat them up, whatever. One of them shoots like a flamethrower. One of them shoots electricity.
So he's
one
got
of them
Venom Snake's arm.
But one of them is a shield. And so normally when you block in a game, you're blocking with your weapon, and you take damage, but it's like a different color, and as long as you attack the enemy soon after, you get all that health back. The shield, it's more of a true block, and it like at least for the first time you block with it, it like explodes to like knock them back, but it also knocks you back, whatever. But you can basically just hold L2 and you can still hit R1 to do your, I wouldn't say weak attack, but a normal attack. So the final boss, the first phase, you can basically just hold L2 and just boom, 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 boom. You're pretty much blocking everything. Boom, 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 boom. So once I figured that out, I'm like, okay, I can routinely get to the second phase with sometimes all 10 or usually 8 or 9 of my my flasks, whatever. But he would just wreck me. And then I don't remember what I eventually did. You can get, there's like throwables similar to every other game. And I basically got him down to just like a sliver. But I think I was out of heals. And I was just like, I switched to every throwable I had. I was just switched, just threw everything I had at him and it killed him. I was like, thank God. So there's 3 endings you have to get.
Nameless Puppet.
Yep.
Is that
that's the final boss? There's 3 endings. One of them is like the bad ending. It's the equivalent of getting to the end of Streets of Rage and then saying, okay, Mr. X, I'll join you.
Yeah. Now you got to fight Adam. Yeah.
But there's 2 other endings that you get by actually having to fight the final boss. So even after I beat him, I'm like, load my save. I got to go do it again. The second time I beat him after like a few tries. It wasn't nearly as bad, but he was still tough. So now I'm in New Game Plus. I've been wrecking people. Right up until Chapter 8. All of a sudden, the Chapter 8 boss was giving me trouble. And then I just beat Chapter 9 before I came over here. Oh, no, I beat 9 and 10.
How many are there?
11.
Okay.
So because I did all the save scumming for all the endings, I basically only have one more trophy to get, and it's get all of these collectibles that you can't get all of in the first game.
Okay.
But you have to get to Chapter 11. You just don't have to beat it. So you literally have to beat it, even with the save scumming, you have to beat it once and about 95% of the second time. So I'm literally, I think, 1 collectible away from the platinum. So I'll probably get it tomorrow. But
so you can get all 3 endings with 1 save scum?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so you have to, I don't even remember why. It has something to do with how you progress through Chapter 11. So I had to create a save at the beginning of Chapter 11, upload it to the cloud, beat it, download it, get basically to the end, create a new save, get the bad ending by saying, yes, Mr. X, I'll join you. That has nothing to do with this game.
You were being literal. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then load that back up and then fight the final boss again.
Oh, so that's why you said you only had to fight him twice, not 3 times.
Yeah, because one of them you don't even have to fight him.
But, and when does show up?
The the post-credit scene. But that happens on all ending? 3.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But
so weird. Man,
it's so weird. I kind of wish I hadn't read it ahead of time. But, and I'm not going to say anything just in case. But like, I'm definitely glad they have to be making a sequel. The way it ends.
You can't end it like that and not pay it off. Yeah.
And like, that's a much better known property than Pinocchio. And like, you think of like a dark version of that taking place there.
But
like,
who are you? Her?
I assume you're him still, but I don't know.
But how? Yeah, I don't even know.
But like, I'm already in. I'm like, that just makes sense. Like going to the city, like you can just picture
that would
the
look,
whole like. I just think that would be so cool. I hope it actually happens.
Yeah, almost like a cyberpunk version of the city.
But like the little you see of her, it just looks like her.
Really?
You only see like from the legs down.
Okay, right.
But she does not appear to be somebody that you would play as in a Soulsborne game. So I can't imagine you're her. I just assume she's a central character, but you're still P. But yeah, I love it. It's a fantastic game. I've definitely gotten very upset. It's tough. But I like it a lot. But yeah, that is all I've been playing. Oh, that's not true. I platinum Bluey. Well, because Kira kept wanting to play it, and I'm like, if I'm going to play this game, I'm going to get the stupid platinum. And it was basically just going around each of the stages and finding all the collectibles. Like, but now I'm just like, I'm done with this game. If you want to play it, knock yourself out. But I'm done.
Eliza's been playing it a lot. And I don't even think she's playing it under me, so I'm like,
It's all for nothing.
I need this platinum. So I've really only played only two things, really only one, but three things. First, okay, I don't remember where I was with Shadow Erdtree 2 weeks ago.
When we talked, I think you had gotten to the final area.
I had gotten to the final. That's what I thought.
But I don't think we've talked on here since that.
I was trying to beat it before another game came out, and I didn't do it. I couldn't beat the final boss until Sean told me the cheese.
Did you even make it to the second phase?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Lots of times. And once you told me how to get rid of the Halo.
Oh, that's
Halo,
right. Yeah.
That was like, okay, I can at least survive that. He's so friggin' difficult. He's I never had to fight James can relate to this. I never had to fight Radagon legit. I did actually when I beat it on when I got the platinum, because they had patched out the Shinku Hadouken. You can make him not move and just Shinku.
Right, you can just like walk right up to him and
yellow bloody whoop. I'm not going to finish that, but yes. It's kind of obvious now that I said yellow. Like, no, it's just a Coldplay song. Yeah. What? Elden Ring.
Couldn't beat the boss.
I tried I tried going, because I've got my big turkey leg weapon plus 25. I finally figured out how to do the affinity thing. Literally have put 139 hours into this game. I played the DLC for 37 hours because I was at 102. Now I'm at 139. Did the affinity, so it's doing more blood damage and stuff, but that doesn't really affect this guy at all. So then I was like, okay,
it does.
It does.
Oh, well, with your chicken wing, I don't know.
Right, but not with the
yeah.
So then I found the stabby stab, and I got that up to 25, and I put the blood affinity on that then, because it does the poison by default, I think.
It's already got Scarlet Raw, and you can add
right.
blood.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I did that. That wasn't working. So I was like, okay, let me go back and try my plus 10 great dragon killing katana thing, whatever that was. That didn't help. It's just like I could not beat this guy. And then by the time I finally, like Sean told me what the cheese was, cheese whiz, I really only tried it a couple times, and then another game came out the next day.
It's one of those things where it doesn't seem like it would work, and it doesn't seem like it is working.
And I think that's why
works.
I think that's why I was like,
because you can literally just like hold. I've already forgotten L2 or L1, whatever it is, to hold your shield up.
Yeah.
And he's like, and you're like, oh god, but you just stand there and take it. It won't really do much.
I think if
but like mentally, it's like, oh god.
Yeah, and I think
like,
I start dodging. Yeah.
And it took a while for me to just mentally get over that. But literally, while he's doing that, just keep hitting R1, just boop boop boop, and it won't do anything. Go, and then,
but then it'll go, pah, yeah.
Poof. So yeah, you just have to know what you're supposed to do and force your brain to let you do it, even though it feels weird.
I also
the only tricky part is if you're running low on stamina, you won't be able to block anymore. So you need to like go, you still kind of need to learn his patterns. Yeah, so you know when you can let go to fill it back up and then put your shield back out. But yeah.
The other thing, I couldn't beat Bale. I couldn't beat Christian Bale.
Oh yeah, that's tough.
I couldn't beat him. It didn't matter if I summoned the guy who's like, Bale! I'm here to kill the dragon! I would summon him and Mimic Tier, and this guy is just like, I got him down to like 10% or a little bit lower so many friggin' times. And it's like, once I lose both of them to where I can no longer... And he, unlike a lot of the bosses in this, a lot of the bosses, except for the Frenzied Flame guy, you can get them to just be like, I'm going to go kill the other guy.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of sneak up and do a charged attack or whatever. This dude, it's like when he's fighting Mimic or whatever the guy's name is, and you try to get close, he's like, oh, hey, bitch. And he's like, you know what I mean? And then I'm like, oh. And he hits so hard, but I got so close so many times, and I was finally like, okay, I don't have to beat this guy. I have to beat the final boss. I almost said his name. Whatever.
But you don't. I mean, it's like
I know I don't, and it's not like
there's not even credits. There's
I
no
could just
ending.
say
It's
I could just say I beat him because there's no trophy. There's no way you can prove I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But I didn't do it. I'm not gonna lie. Question: for the next Souls game, where do you want the direction to go? More like Elden Ring or more linear like Dark Souls? This is for you because I'm all.
I would love more
and Demon
Elden
Souls
Ring.
is the only two I've beaten.
I would love more Elden Ring, but I would also like to see what a new, more old school but new like PS5, but Bloodborne, Dark Souls, not Sekiro.
No,
I said that kind
I know.
of weird. Not Sekiro, not Elden Ring, but like Bloodborne, Dark Souls. That's what I would want.
I think it'd be cool if they just did a Dark Souls where you can jump.
But if all of a sudden they're like Elden Ring 2 is in development, I'd be like, great,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, and I don't want to watch anything about it.
Yeah.
I do. I think I might. Did you figure out? Did you buy it physical?
What?
Dark Souls 3.
I never checked, but I'm 99% sure I did.
I might want to borrow it because I was trying to think like after Astrobot,
When is that? September?
September 5th or something.
Okay.
There's really nothing for me unless I end up getting Black Ops 6. There's really nothing for me until Mario and Luigi comes out.
When is that? November?
Yeah, because I'm not going to play the Zelda game. So I'm like, that might be
Yeah.
a good break for me. And I don't know if I'm going to get the game that I played also, but we'll talk about that here in a second. I don't know. It might be a perfect time for me to just say, let me give it a try.
Yeah.
If I could beat Demon... Now, I think I'm a lot better than I was. I almost feel like I should go back and play Demon Souls again.
I got the itch. It was a while ago now. Maybe it was after I beat Elden Ring the first time. I was like, I kind of want to go do Demon Souls again because I feel like that'll be easy. I feel like I'm so much better now. And
I played that game like a bitch. I was just
Yeah,
like,
you were
pew,
magic.
pew, pew, pew.
Yeah.
Sean, save me!
I think you should go back and I would love to see you play Dark Souls 3. But I think it would also be interesting for you to go back and play Demon Souls now that you know you've got the
I got
the
good.
strategy down. Yeah.
Or I got good enough.
Yeah.
I didn't really get good. All that to say, well, let me talk about the little one first. I did play this morning when I couldn't fall asleep. I played the Visions of Mana demo, and I saw Chris was playing it as well. I've been really like Mana. I always say Mana.
Is it Mana?
They're voice acting in this, and they say Mana.
I don't like that.
Also, one of the chicks in this talks like she's from Nashville. And I'm like, you've got all this poofy hair and this big dress and your anime, whatever, and you're like, I like to boot, scoot, and boogie. Like, it's so weird.
What's her name?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Varl. No, that's Horizon. It's like Hinty or something like that.
Okay.
And that now you get the full picture.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that it doesn't start you off in the beginning of the game. You're just somewhere in the game. And if you play the demo, you do unlock 3 weapons to start if you buy the real game. But they said you can unlock the weapons in game, so it's nothing like exclusive. You just get them sooner. It's got that art style that I love. That I don't know what. It's not cel shaded. It's not really Genshin Impact. It's more Dragon Quest 11. Like, I don't know what that is. It's not cel shaded, unless that's what cel shaded has become.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but yeah.
I like the art style. I love the music. The environments look really pretty. You've got a party of 5. You only control 3. Is it really a good show? Is that what you said?
No, I just said like the show.
Oh,
I don't think it is a good show.
I was like, I never watched it. Yeah, once I've been going through Lies of P and Elden Ring, Bloodborne's easy. Oh, maybe I should go back to Bloodborne. No, put it on PS5. That's the only way I'm going to play it. Chris really liked the demo. I really liked the demo. And the one thing I had an issue with at the beginning, and Chris, let me know if you thought this too. There is something about the camera when you're fighting in this that is weird, and I almost don't know how to put it into words. You can click in the right stick. Also, I did get overwhelmed with I think I would feel a lot better playing this game if I did start it from the beginning, because since you're somewhere in the middle of the game, you've got like all these different shortcuts, and you've got an L2 power and an L1 thing, and the R2 does this. It's like, it's so overwhelming. I do like that it doesn't have the stamina thing like Secret of Mana did.
So is this more like Zelda? Or is it more like Rebirth and Remake, where it's like, it's not turn-based, it's all happening real time, but you still have like you're somewhat, you know what I'm saying? Or is it just like Zelda, just sword? It's
it kind of reminds me of Crisis Core in a way, because it's like whenever you get to, like, you'll go up and you'll see there's like 3 enemies bouncing around, whatever. And when you get up to them, I don't remember, it doesn't say battle, it does something. So then you start fighting these enemies, and your whole party is fighting them at the same time. You can change strategies in the menu and stuff like that. But when you start fighting them, there's like, it's like you go into an arena. You don't like do the whole turn-based thing, but a circle goes around you. And so like you're in there with the enemies. Now what you can do, and I didn't do this because I'm not a bitch, you can run away from fights in this. You just have to go like run into the circle and just keep running.
Right.
But if the circle's red, it's like unskippable. You have to fight or die. And what was the question? Oh yeah.
So is there any gameplay
there's nothing
system
like Rebirth
to prevent you from just like, do they prevent you from just going attack,
you
or is there a
can do
reason
it.
you don't want to, or like
the reason I feel after playing the demo that you don't want to is, even if you finish a combo, and then you try to just go right back into it again, it seems like the enemies are programmed that like, no, like you can hit them with a combo, but then you have to learn what their movements are and stuff. So you can hit them with a combo, and then you got to back up, or you got to block, you got to do whatever.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what discourages it. But there's no stamina or anything like that. You can just go buck wild on them. Reminds me of Final Fantasy VII, sort of. Okay, he said yes. A lot of controls are thrown at you. Okay, so he agrees with me about the camera. There's something about it. So like you can click in the R3.
I think that's why I didn't really care for the Sea of Stars demo, was that same reason, where it's like you're in the middle of the game, and it's like they kind of explained the mechanics, but they also, to me, it seemed like they didn't, and I was so lost. But then like, once I played the actual game and I got to that part of the game naturally, I'm like, yeah, this makes perfect sense.
They explain the stuff in here, but like when they're explaining it, there's 17 things on the screen. I'm like, yeah, I can read all this. I'm not retaining any of this. I'm just going to go square. And once you build up a meter for your R2 attack, and that does kind of like, it does like a limit. It's basically like a limit break. That does like back you out, and he's like, whoa, flip, boom. Oh, I did see they buffed the Savage Lion's Claw to where the second attack is easier to hit and it does more damage, but maybe the first attack doesn't do as much.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Elden Ring, the Savage Lion's Claw affinity thing. That's where you can do. Did you ever get that?
Affinity.
It's where you do like an attack. You like do a flip attack, and then you do a bigger flip and another attack.
Is that like the L2 of
it's
some
the L2
weapon?
For Savage. That's the that.
That's the that?
Yeah. So anyways, lost it. What were we talking
R2
about?
limit break.
R2 limit break and all that. Oh, the camera. You click R3 to target. And there's like you can turn auto target on and off. I think I tried it both ways and nothing seemed to change. If you're looking at an enemy, the enemies move around a lot in this. If you think back to the trailers and stuff, it seems like a lot of the combat was like up in the air. If you remember, like they're flying around everywhere. The enemies move around so much that like when you're trying to go from one enemy to the next, there's something about the targeting that is like, it doesn't work. It's like, or the camera turns slower than you think. It's like I'll be fighting an enemy, and then all of a sudden he's like jumping behind me, so I'm no longer targeting him, and I have to turn all the way around. There's something weird about it. It didn't seem to be like as much of an issue the further I went into it, so maybe I just got used to it. Or maybe I'm just thinking that because it ends in a boss fight that reminded me of God of War 1. I'll say that. Yeah.
Shut up.
Slacking off.
God, it is beautiful, though.
It's really pretty. I did really like it. This is one of those games where I think I am, and it's out in a couple weeks also. I'm not sold yet. But it's one of those, if this gets a really good score on Metacritic, I'm probably going to jump in. Or this might be a perfect Christmas game, but I don't want to have discs anymore also. I almost don't want to ask for games for Christmas because I don't want discs. I want everything digital.
Right. It almost...
Like, it kind of reminds me of Crisis Core. See how that enemy just went behind him? Like,
yeah. Huh.
see how slow it's turning?
Yeah, that is weird.
And it's one thing when you watch it, it's another thing when you play it. It's just so I cannot put my finger on it. It's just so weird. But yeah, I'm speaking a lot for a demo that lasted 45 minutes. You should definitely play it, especially because it's quick. Get the platinum and then fire that up. Also, for a short demo, it's 12 gigs. I was like, damn, y'all couldn't have like done a better job of compressing this or something. So it's a wait and see for me, but I'm encouraged. It also made me remember, son of a bitch, I bought the Secret of Mana remake on PS4, got about halfway through it, on the track to get the platinum. Something else came out, completely forgot about it. There's no way I can go back and play it again.
That happens a lot with you.
Yeah, I still got to get Animal Well. I got to go back. I started the PS4 version of Prince of Persia. I want to get that platinum too.
Oh, you never finished Animal Well?
Or just the platinum? I didn't get the platinum.
Okay.
So I don't know. That's also, do I do Dark Souls 3 or do I clean up all these platinums? Anyways, another thing I played.
Get the Dark Souls 3 platinum.
Yeah, right. No, that's all that bullshit light dark stuff, right?
No, that's Demon Souls.
Okay. I thought there was something you had to like milk. There not milk, but there was something.
That was the one that
the drop of something.
It was it Dustin? Somebody had to
drop.
help me out. Yeah, that platinum was terrible.
Did you platinum 1, 2, and 3?
I never played 2.
Okay.
But I platinum 3. I was on my way to platinuming 1. And I think I'm on New Game Plus, maybe Plus. And I think one of the main things I have left to do, maybe one of the only things I have left to do, is get all the spells. But it's like, if you do this, you get this spell, but you can't get that spell. So now you can't get that until New Game Plus. Right. So I need to go back in, if I ever do it.
Were you missing
Look at all my spells, figure out which ones I have, like look online for a list, figure out which ones I have, which ones I don't. And then just come up with a game plan of like, all right, here's where I get this, here's where I get this, here's where I get this, and plan accordingly so I don't miss out on that. Like, I'm kind of curious now how many trophies I have left, but I never got it. I don't know that I will because it'll be impossible to get back into it now.
Did you get the Demon Souls Platinum?
I got Demon Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring,
psychopath,
Dark Souls 3, and soon
Milk,
to be.
What you thinking? I did start watching The Boys again today, so maybe that's what I was thinking. Okay. So yeah, I like that. But one of my most anticipated games this year, it is so funny to me when I hear people say, and maybe I'm like to this year in video games the way some people have been to Deadpool and Wolverine. Mm-hmm. Some people are like, there's so many great games this year. It's just a crazy year, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, there was Rebirth and there was Elden Ring and I liked Prince of Persia and, you know, Paper Mario got a 20-year remake. And like, yeah, this has not been an overwhelming year to me. Last year, possibly the best year ever. And that being said, my most anticipated game this year was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for sure. I almost think my second most anticipated game this year, well, for a couple of seconds it was Zelda, and then it turned out to not be Zelda when I realized what it actually was. What are you doing? You're looking at your trophies.
PlayStation, but it's not taking my.
You can look on mine. I'm signed in. You can click on you.
Okay. Well, I should be signed in on my phone. I guess I just.
Oh, Nerd 901 Nick is playing Mortal Kombat 1. Why am I friends with him still? James is playing, or maybe Sarah's playing, Hitman World of Assassination. My most anticipated game other than Final Fantasy VII this year was a little game called College Football 25. This is going to be the first time, I think, in the, 9 years we've been doing this, that I'm going to have a sports game. I bit my tongue there. A sports game in my top 10 at the end of the year.
I have 11 more trophies.
Oh, yeah. So. You ain't getting that then. That's a wrap. College Football 25. I think they announced it was coming back 3 or 4 years ago. They had to figure out everything with NIL. They had to figure out how to get the players' likenesses in the game. All that stuff, how to pay them. They get $600 and they get a free copy of the game, which is just hilarious to me. But it's better than nothing. My only nitpicks with this game, I'll do them first, and then I'll talk about why I friggin' love this game. I put 21 hours into this so far, by the way, in a week. I already won the national championship with Texas. I then went so I started my second season there. Arch is now starting. Quinn wanted to go to the draft. I was like, that's fine, dude. You got me a championship. Go. I want to play as Arch. Go. And then I created Geneseo. Their team, you can do a team builder thing online, way better than any team creator they're used to do. And maybe they did this when it was still on PS3 and I just wasn't doing it back then. But like you can upload your own images. So I did like Geneseo's, a couple of their, the night, like PNG transparent files. So I've got them. You pick the colors, you design everything. It's so cool. Pick the kind of team you want. They fill it with a bunch of players. My only two gripes, and I don't understand this, you cannot edit any of the players in the game that are there because of NIL, which is essentially everyone in the game. The reason they've given for this is something about how they don't want to open themselves up to lawsuits or something, that now that they have signed these NIL deals, so their name, image, and likeness of the real life players cannot be altered. But in Madden, every time I buy Madden, I go in and I bump Saquon up by a few points, and like I create me, and I'm a 99 overall speed and stuff like that. I'm like, and you can't create players in this.
Oh, that's weird.
The only gripes I have with this are the roster stuff. I hate that. Now, I do wonder if they're going to end up, because whenever I used to get college football games, I would always create myself. I'd be a freshman cornerback, and I'd put my ratings down because I want to build up through the 4 years and everything. And you can do the Road to Glory mode or whatever it's called, Road to the Show. Oh, no, that's baseball. Whatever it's called in this. You can create yourself, be any position you want, any team you want, and you go through it like that. But I've never tried it, so I shouldn't say it's not fun, but it doesn't seem like it would be fun to me. I always like to play these games like I'm the head coach. I play offense. I play defense. I do all the recruiting myself. Like it's so nerdy and everything. That's how I want to play. I don't want to just play as myself as a cornerback for Syracuse or something. Like that's not fun. That's really my only gripe is you can't create players and you can't edit players. If you do a team builder team though, because they just give you a roster of fake players, what you can do, so online after you create the uniforms, the like name, where they are, uniforms, what does the stadium look like, and then you've got like 8 preset teams. Like you can be an air it out team, you can be a powerhouse, you can be a run heavy, you can be whatever. And once you pick that, they give you a roster of generic dudes. Now, even then I was like, you're kidding me. They give me a whole roster on my PC of generic dudes and I can't change the names. Are you friggin' kidding me?
Your PC?
I did it on this. I'm saying you don't do it in the game. You do it on an actual website, and then you upload it. So you've got a lot more control. That's why I think it works so well. But so you can edit everything except for the names. So I found somebody who was a freshman, made him, and you can't edit what they look like or their names. But I made him number 24. I gave him the ratings I wanted.
What's his name?
Kevin White. I don't know what it was.
I thought you said you couldn't change the name.
I couldn't change his name. But then when you upload the team, you can't, listen, you can't change it on the website. But then when you upload your team, you go and you download it to your console. You can do a dynasty with that team. You have to replace an existing team. So I replaced like Pitt or something because Geneseo, I was like, we'll probably be in the ACC, whatever. I know. I told you I'm a nerd. But then once you get him in the game, so you give that player the ratings you want. It was like Bill McStiffens. I don't know. Was his name. So then you give him the ratings and stuff on the computer. When you get into your dynasty, once you're finally there, then you can edit the name. And you can so I can make him Kevin White. And I was like, thank you. This is all I wanted. So now on Geneseo, I do have cornerback number 24, freshman Kevin White, 6 foot 180, pure muscle, by the way. And I'm an awesome cornerback. So the roster is the only complaint I have. I'm having so much more fun with this than I've had with Madden in a while. Now, part of that could be because the Giants have been really shitty for a long time. So the years when I do get Madden, it's usually the years that my hopes are up. I'm not buying Madden this year. I didn't buy it last year. My hopes were not very high last year, and they're 0 this year. But, like, it's so fun First off, it's so cool to be able to actually play the game, and it's Quinn Ewers playing quarterback. It's not QB number 3.
Yeah.
And then you got to wait. You got to make somebody, God bless the people back in the days that would go and they would edit literally every freaking person's name in the game and upload a roster so that other people could download it. Yes. And they're doing it. Maybe they could have done it online. I don't think so. I think they had to do it on their friggin' PS3 or 360. Like, that's insane. God bless those people. But now you don't have to worry about that. They're there. I wish you could edit the ratings. I wish you could edit the names and stuff like that. Whatever. Once you're actually playing the game, it's so much fun. Like, there's so many. It feels like it plays a little bit faster than Madden. There's so many. The RPOs in this, I still, after playing 21 hours, there'll be some times where I'm like, okay, hike the ball, run pass option. Quarterback gets the ball. You read the defense. You can either hand it off to the running back, keep it yourself and run, or keep it yourself and throw it. What I do a lot of times is I hike it and I immediately push the button to throw it because I'm like, unless I know I want the running back to keep it. If you want the running back to keep it, you just hike it, don't push anything, and he's going to give it to the running back and you go. Supposedly, if you want the quarterback to keep it, you push X to hike it, and then I've read different things, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I've read some people say you hold X after you hike it, X on PlayStation. You hold X, and he'll keep the ball. I've heard other people say you tap X a bunch, that'll make him keep the ball. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So that's why I'm either usually, and it's not like Arch or Quinn Ewers are like super athletes, so I don't really need to keep it with them anyways, but it's just frustrating. So either I'm going to do an RPO and I'm just going to let the running back take it, or a lot of times the actual passes are super quick. Like, you'll just have a receiver over to the left, and he'll kind of like just almost do like a bubble screen. Like, he'll just kind of hike, and he'll just come back a few steps, turn, and get ready for the pass. So I hike it and immediately hit square and throw it over there. And sometimes it goes for 20 yards. Sometimes it goes for -2. It's because the kind of play it is.
Yeah.
I just absolutely adore this game. There are some issues. It's not as buggy and weird and broken. Have you seen any of the videos online?
Some, yeah.
I think it's the Ohio State running back, I think, is the one that people are like, this guy is not fair.
Like Bo Jackson in Tecmo, basically.
Even worse. Like, I've seen videos of this dude, like, he breaks through the line, and he's like, spin move, away from, spin move, spin, and no one can tackle him. I saw this one where he's going spin move, spin move, spin move, spin move, spin move, and he's up against the left sideline. And by the time he does this one spin move, all 11 guys on the defense are like on top of him. He spins the other way, and they all go, and he just runs away from all of them. I'm like, so that's weird. The crowd stuff still, there's some people in the crowd that look like people. There's other people that look like they're on PS2.
They look like they're on PSP or something. I mean, PCP.
PCP. I was like, well, PSP is PS2 kind of. Like, I scored again this morning when I was up since 2. I played a couple of games. One of the times, scored a touchdown with Texas, and my guy disappeared as he was doing the celebration. I thought the camera was just too close, but he wasn't there. But then I see like the linemen are coming up and they're tapping him on the head, and it's like further back from the camera. There's nobody there, and they're like, "Yeah, man, good job." I'm like, where'd he go? So there's little things like that, but it seems like it's higher quality than Madden usually is at release, and I just absolutely love it. $70 well spent. I didn't spend $100 on it, but 2.2 million people spent $100 on this to pay it 3 days early. That's $220 million right there.
That's crazy.
This is obviously going to be number one in the NPD for this month. It's going to be a blowout. I think this has a chance, especially with Black Ops coming to Game Pass. This might be the number one game of the year, sales-wise in the U.S. I freaking love it. It's going to be the only sports game I've ever had in my top 10. I can tell you right now, it's in the top 10. It is so much fun. Like I said, 21 hours in it so far. I think the games I spent the most time with this year, it's got to be Rebirth. I think it was right around 40 hours, so I might have almost gotten there with Erdtree, and then this. This, I'm probably going to end up with more hours in this than anything. So much fun. I love it. I'm just so happy it's here. It's back. It's awesome. Wow, we've been going for over an hour. Yeah, see, we don't need no stinking news. So that's all I've been playing. Sean, you want to get to the wrap up of the week?
Let's do it.
All right, we're gonna fly through this. There was a SAG-AFTRA video game strike. So, by the way, the president of SAG-AFTRA, do you know who it is? There's no way there's two people on this earth that have this name, so it has to be her. The president is Fran Drescher. And I was like, the nanny is the president of the SAG-AFTRA? When was the last time she even acted? There's no way there's two Fran Dreschers in this world, right?
No.
Okay. I don't know why, but Fran Drescher's the president. So I had
Funny to hear. When you say she's the president. She's not the president of SAG-AFTRA. It's just Fran Drescher's
You
the
remember
president.
her voice? Oh, that hurt. My neck stiff. I had forgotten this. So last September, the performance capture, a lot of performance capture and voice. LMAO the nanny. Is it the nanny or is there another Fran Drescher? A lot of the voice actors and performance capture people unionized as part of SAG-AFTRA, and they said, if y'all don't meet our demands in like 10 months or something, this all comes down to AI is really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And I get it. I think AI is cool for certain things. AI is cool. When we did that one bonus episode where we talked about a bunch of bullshit, and I was like, give me a title for this. I didn't end up using it, but it was like, I was like about nostalgic smells and something. It was like sense and sensibility. Memories of our childhood or something. I was like, holy shit, good job, man. Or like summarizing a podcast or running all these trillions of mathematical equations to figure out what kind of medicine should be used to treat this person with this genetic makeup, whatever. Stuff like that is freaking awesome. Just creating, like David Jaffe was talking about with Colin, like how he created a like 80s style arcade game with ChatGPT, just telling it like, I want it to be top down. It's it looks like it's from the 80s, like an 8-bit aesthetic. You play as a cat and there's mice and you have to chase the mice. And he's like, okay, build that for me. And then there's like a playable, very basic thing. He's like, okay, cool. Now tweak this, tweak that. And he got a functional game working from just telling ChatGPT. I don't know if it was ChatGPT or something else, but he got it working.
Wow.
The AI stuff seems like sign it in your contract, but eventually we won't need you.
Yeah.
It's scary. Like, I don't think Skynet is going to be a thing. I'm not that fatalistic when it comes to AI. But I get it. If you are in the arts, and I consider video games an art, and the people that make it, actors and everything, like, I get it. Because you're not, especially with video games, it's not like, we've got all the deep fake stuff happening. God help us in this election. But you're not going to go watch a movie and think like, I don't know, like Good Will Hunting. Something that's not like Avengers Endgame and stuff where it's CG everywhere, where it's just a practically shot movie of real people.
Yeah.
You're never going to have AI just make that because it's never going to, it's not going to be that.
I don't know.
I hope.
It's gone from nothing to, I wouldn't say pretty close, but it's gone from nothing to at least something very quickly, and it's probably going to grow exponentially.
Exactly. So Chris says AI in the medical space is where we need to focus because the breakthroughs such as AI finding cancer months before it fully develops. Amen. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I get it. That being said, I'm glad that this apparently there's something in the contract that says if you are working on a game, if your work on a game started before September of 2023 when they said, hey, we're going to strike, you don't have to strike. They're highly encouraging it, though. I don't like that. Like, don't pressure people if they want to make money. They got families and stuff to support.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. It's not affecting GTA 6, is all that to be said. It's not affecting it. Now, they did say something could happen down the road that could affect GTA 6. What are you smiling at?
Because you just said something weird.
What did I say?
It's not going to affect GTA 6, all that to be said or something. I don't know.
Probably.
But I get what you're saying.
2 a.m. So that happened. Next up, the PS5 is currently $50 off if you haven't bought one yet. Also, PSVR 2 is $200 off.
I saw something today that I cannot believe is true.
That the sales are up 2,000%?
Well, kind of. PSVR 2 has apparently outsold Series S and X combined.
That's literally not no.
I saw that. I'm like,
maybe this year.
Maybe that's all they were saying. But I'm like, there's no way it's sold that much. Like, nobody has one.
No, because PS5 is at, I don't remember, 65 million or something like that. And they said PS5 has outsold Series S and X by more than 2-1, I think. So if PS5 is around 65, you assume Series S and X is 28 to 30 million or something. PSVR, if PSVR 2 had sold that many, we would be playing Half-Life Alyx on our PSVR 2 right now. If it was that popular, they would give us the games that we want. So if you want to get it, go get it. But yeah, what I read is that sales are up 2,000%. And I don't know, does that mean 2,000% from last week? Like, I don't even know what that means. What are you comparing it to? Also, 0 to something is actually null or nil. It's not 2,000%.
It's infinite percent.
Jazz hit another home run. Hell yeah. I mean, it's not a stretch. No, a series hasn't sold that bad. There's no way. So anyways, if you want one, go get it. I like how John Tingley said, and I do agree with this. He said in our Discord today or yesterday, I can't remember when it was. He's almost thinking about buying one just because. I don't know if you know this. I heard this. I didn't know this until I heard it on Sacred Symbols a month ago or something. You can't just buy dual. What are they called? Not DualSense. What are the controllers called? The Sense. Yeah, you cannot buy Sense controllers. You can't do it. If yours breaks, you have to buy a whole nother PSVR 2 kit. If you're lucky, there's been so many people that have had horror stories about this. If you're lucky, you can send it to Sony and they'll fix it and send it back. But you can't buy the controllers by themselves.
I don't like that.
Nobody really knows why. They don't know if it's just because they manufactured what they did. They weren't selling very much. They're like, why waste? We just need to bundle these all together to make as much money back as we can. Let's not sell them separately. I don't know. But all that say, John was saying he might just buy another one while it's on sale just so he's got backup Sense controllers. Hardware sales were down 50% again, so maybe PSVR 2 could be outstanding this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe it's outsold it this year or over the last X number of months or something.
Exactly.
But like,
sales were down 40% last quarter, and Microsoft announced today sales were down 43% again. Well, because they're like, play anywhere. Buy an Amazon Fire Stick and just get Xbox. What?
Yeah.
Next up, did you see this? I'm pre-ordering this.
I kind of need a new controller. I don't need a new controller.
I need one that I can just lock in my lockbox somewhere that these freaking kids can't touch.
Yeah.
My black DualSense is barely hanging on. Noah bought that red DualSense for himself within the last year. One of the sticks is completely loose. I took it apart and I was like, no, I can't fix this. So it's dead. I got this thing over here still where I tried to fix the stick drift. It ain't fixed. Like, I keep holding out hope, stupidly, that they're going to put out a PS1 themed DualSense to where I don't have to just buy the plates myself and the buttons and just make it. They're not going to do it. I'm buying this. Oh, okay. All that to say, Astrobot Limited Edition DualSense was announced. Pre-order start August 9th. It's $80 instead of $70. I'm like, whatever. I need one, and it just looks so cool. I love the all white with the blue accents with the two stupid eyes on the thing. I love Astrobot.
Yeah.
I'm definitely getting it. Astrobot. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Also, Concord is getting a controller. Nobody cares.
It looked cool.
It did, but nobody cares. I saw VGC made a big mistake, which they don't normally make mistakes, but I saw in one of their articles talking about how Concord will not have a battle pass. They said something about how Sony's free-to-play shooter announces it won't have a battle pass. And I'm like, am I that far out of touch when I don't go on Twitter a lot that now this game's going to be free-to-play? No, it's $40.
Yeah.
Super Mario World is getting a Lego set. Did you see this with Mario on Yoshi?
I was very tempted.
Like the Deku tree was one thing.
Wasn't it like $500? Something
It
stupid.
was 300. This I think is only
200 or like 170 or something.
I think
maybe?
so. This means a lot more to me than the Great Deku Tree does.
Yeah.
It just looks beautiful, and it's because it's pixels big. Like it looks.
It's perfect for Lego.
Perfect. I don't know if I'm going to get it. Modern Warfare 3 is now on Game Pass. It is the first Call of Duty to come. But now I can't just say, what was that noise? What was that noise?
I can't just say, what was that?
I can't just say Game Pass. Now I have to say Modern Warfare 3 is coming to Game Pass, meaning Game Pass Console, Game Pass PC, and Game Pass Ultimate. Speaking of Game Pass, FTC is still not done fighting. Yeah, but they are pricey. The FTC is now claiming, because remember, they're suing Microsoft, or I don't know, declaring bankruptcy, whatever. They're now claiming in their lawsuit that the Game Pass price increase by Xbox is, quote, exactly the sort of consumer harm, end quote, that they were warning everybody about, and they still want it to be repealed. Xbox at this point is probably like, yeah, if you want to repeal it, can we have our $70 billion back? Evo, we got a lot of news from that. SNK has announced there's a new Art of Fighting game coming. I never thought I would say that sentence. I also never thought I would say they're working on a Samurai Showdown action RPG. That sounds freaking awesome.
I'm intrigued by that.
Zelda Butcher Haumaru? Hell yeah, let's go. This continues to be so weird to me, but Terry Bogard is coming to Street Fighter 6. I might have to fire up I have not played Street Fighter 6 barely at all since we did that stream.
That's what I was
$70.
worried about. That's why I'm like, I don't think I'm going to get this.
Heihachi. Is it Heihachi or Heihachi?
Heihachi.
Hi Hachi. I was trying to do High Hopes. It was a bad.
That was really bad.
He's finally coming to Tekken 8 this fall. That's all I'm trying to say. Also, SNK versus Capcom Shadow dropped SVC Chaos. I love that game. I've never played it, so I don't love that game. I just love the fact that that's one of the SNK made it. So it's SNK's beautiful pixel art versions of Ryu and Ken and all that. And they look so friggin' cool.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Legacy of Kain 1 and 2 remastered. There was a statue somebody noticed at Comic-Con of Legacy of Kain, but in there it said something about Legacy of Kain 1 and 2 remastered is coming. And it's like, holy crap. I never played those games, but people love them.
Yeah.
That's probably one I would like to check out if it did get remastered. At a Capcom shareholder meeting, they said, quote, Mega Man is one of our highly valued IPs, and we are considering how to create games for it on an ongoing basis. Just remember, Mega Man 11 came out 6 years ago, and there's been nothing since.
Wow.
Sure. I'll believe it when I see it. Did you get Mega Man 11? I played the demo.
That's the one that...
It was kind of floaty or something was weird.
I think I tried it, and...
It felt like Mega Man 8 or something.
I did not like it.
Yeah.
I don't remember why, but there's something about it that I didn't like. I never bought it, but it was like a demo. Maybe it was on
Plus
Switch or something.
I think
or
it was
maybe,
on Switch.
Maybe.
Oh, no, I think it is on PS Plus Extra. Maybe I downloaded it, but I only did the demo. I might have downloaded it and not played it, but I definitely did the demo on Switch. Bethesda has become the first Microsoft studio to fully unionize. The only things we had seen in the past was people unionizing in QA and stuff like that. This is everybody. I will say, good for them, whatever. I just have a bad history with unions because I worked at AT&T and I was a retail manager, and I had the CWA, the Communication Workers of America. You know, the people that represent people that like go up on phone lines and electrical lines and all this stuff and risk their lives. Sales reps in an air-conditioned / heated retail store, they need a union because you're really going to write them up for being late 15 days in a row. Yeah, you get a quarter point every day. If you're 15 minutes late, I have to write you up. You got this many points. What do you want me to do? So I got a bad history with unions. But this, I get it. What direction should the Mega Man series go? Colin keeps saying what he wants is a 3D Mega... He wants to write...
I don't want 3D.
A 3D Mega Man mature thing. I'm like, I don't think so. I think what they should have kept doing first, what's his name? They should have never got rid of what's his name. Why can't I think of his name? Not Ika. Not Ichiro. I keep wanting to say Ichiro. I can't remember his name, but the godfather of Mega Man. They should have never let him go. What I think they should do, Mega Man 9 and 10 coming out in, what was it, 2010, 2011, was so friggin' cool. 8-bit Mega Man, widescreen.
Yeah.
I would love for Mega Man X to get that treatment. That's what I would love to see. I don't think there's any way that's ever going to happen. It would be friggin' awesome to see, though. That's where I think it should go.
Yeah.
Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, has sold 3 million copies. It's awesome. Stalker 2, once again, has been delayed, this time from September to November. Somebody drafted this for us. I can't remember who. It's getting awfully close to being... Oh, my God. I drafted Silk Song.
Oh, I don't think that's happening.
Damn it. And Mina the Howler.
Draft it next year.
It doesn't matter that, like, my average right now is the highest because I've only had, like, 3 games get a score, but my average is awesome. I've got
the only scores you're going to get.
Silk Song, Mina the Hollower. What else do I have? There's one other one that's got a really good chance of not coming out this year. Oh, yeah, and I drafted 3D Mario, not Odyssey 2, so I'm screwed there. So I need Mina the Hollower to come out this year because I don't think Silk Song's going to come out. Amazon's Fallout show, 16 Emmy nominations.
Wow.
That's great. Inafune, thank you. Not Ichiro. Thank you. I still want to go back and watch this show. Maybe when I finish The Boys, I'll watch this. Speaking of TV shows, the Halo TV series has been canceled after 2 seasons. From what I've heard, good riddance.
Yeah.
And last, but also least, the Xbox 360 marketplace has officially closed. It is funny. I saw somebody tweet this, that like when PlayStation said they were shutting down the PS3 store and the Vita store, everybody revolted and were like, you assholes, how dare you do this? And they're like, okay, fine, we'll keep it open for like ever. Xbox 360 shuts Xbox 360 marketplace down. Everybody's like, all these salutes and like, God bless you, man. Man, we're going to miss you. PlayStation, you sons of bitches. I don't get it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for episode 363. I liked how you did that. That was good because it was like 3 to 6 to 3.
Thank you.
That's it for this episode. We might be back next week, but probably not because there's nothing going on. But until that time, Sean, go ahead and take us out.
Thank you for playing.